What's up, YouTube? Back with another video. Today I'd like to talk about loneliness. Big thing, big topic, big thing going around nowadays. What is loneliness? First off, let's start with that. Loneliness at its core is kind of like a survival mechanism. It's a big evolutionary thing. Back in the primal times, when you were isolated from other people, it could be a very dangerous thing, right? Loneliness triggers the same parts of the brain as physical pain does. Triggers stress hormones, inflammation, could suppress the immune system, right? So it's a real thing, and it can be very serious. Again, like I said, there's a lot of discourse around loneliness nowadays, right? You hear all the stuff about the Gen Z loneliness epidemic, the male loneliness epidemic. There's also just a lot of more loneliness in general in society nowadays. A lot of studies say that COVID played a big role, but there's also a lot of studies that say this was happening even before COVID. The COVID really was just an accelerator. But there's also a big correlation with mental health, right? According to Harvard, there's a Harvard study that I'll link down below. 81% of adults who are lonely also suffer from anxiety and depression, compared to a 29% that don't suffer from those things, who say that they feel, they don't really feel all that lonely. There's a number of causes, right? Like I said, COVID was a big contributor, right? There's a lot of, all the social distancing and the lockdowns. I'm someone who I was a junior in high school when COVID really hit. So formative years, right? A lot of young people like me, younger or maybe even a little bit older, feel that too as well. There's a lot of our social lives were essentially paused, right? A lot of things were disrupted. And again, pretty formative, important years of development. Social media is cited as a big contributor, right? There's less, face-to-face interaction. People are spending hours a day on their phones, on their screens, what have you. Like I said in past videos of mine, it's extremely unhealthy, right? To get locked up in that trap, right? People, you're watching people live their best lives all the time, and really it's just artificial, plastic, fake, highly curated, and it makes you feel bad about yourself. It makes you feel inferior. It makes you feel like you're not doing all the things that you can be doing, or not living your life to the fullest. It could be pretty disruptive. Another big reason that I believe is the lack of third places, right? Or this decline in commonplace in this country, right? There's that meme that I love, that I see every so often, where it's that picture of the highway or the expressway or whatever, and it's just down this whole strip, there's just McDonald's and Walmart and Taco Bell and other chain stores and other chain restaurants, no sidewalks, just that's American infrastructure in a nutshell. Especially just modern American infrastructure. I feel like it's not being made with community in mind. I see that a lot in the area that I'm in, right? A lot of small towns that fostered, pretty, decent, lively communities. All the farmland's being bought up, all the fields are being bought up, and the towns are signing off on all these, cookie cutter subdivisions and neighborhoods to be developed. And they're not really prioritizing, infrastructure, like water and sewage and sidewalks Um, they're not prioritizing better roads. And then, you'll have the expensive restaurants and the massive chain grocery stores as well. Um, yeah, there's a lot. There's also a lot less time for people to go out. A lot less money for people to go out. Try to make connections. It's also kind of like, there's also this weird thing with the internet. You see videos of people being stupid in public, right? You see like the people that like to make the prank videos. They like to go into a Target or another kind of grocery store, make a prank video, pranking just random innocent people, or the people that like go up and shoot their shot to random people. I mean, that can be a turn off, right? To really make new connections out in the wild like that. There's a lot of like I said, kind of circling back, there's a lot of economic anxiety. There's a lot of social anxiety. Everyone's worried about their futures, the future of the country, the future of the planet as a whole, right? And a lot of those fears are absolutely valid, but again, we gotta center ourselves. We gotta ground ourselves a lot more. We can't put our lives on hold because of all the chaos around us. There's always going to be chaos around us. And then there's like other cultural, social pressures. Specifically when we're looking at the male loneliness epidemic. There's like this weird kind of thing where it's like men aren't really it's kind of frowned upon for men to really be open and express their feelings. Some people look at that as like points against someone's masculinity, makes him less of a man, whatever. Then there's also kind of on the flip side of that, on like the other side of that coin, there's also like, this like weird social thing where it's like, men are supposed to like not really be susceptible to women opening up to them about their emotions, right? So all that kind of contributes. Then of course, again, I've talked about this in some other videos of mine, certain online echo chambers like the manosphere, where they're kind of pushing men to embrace more nihilistic viewpoints of the world, people around them, and they're, making them more self-isolated and misogynistic, rather than making them more, community-oriented or, embrace healthy solutions to tackle their depression or anxiety or, other things. Then in the inverse, right, like that's not helped by, I'm sure we've all seen those videos, those cringy videos of like people making fun of men's health and, the unaliving rates and the male loneliness epidemic as a whole, right? It's not helping anything. Then there's a rise in people being single, and there's a decline in birth rates and all that, that we gotta be worried about. I guess that was a good preamble, kind of establishing what's going on. But what do we do about it? Like, what's the answer to all this? It's a great question. If you ask like the older generations, they'll tell you to, suck it up, rub some dirt on it, walk it off, and move on with your life, which is ridiculous. Those were times where we, didn't prioritize mental health or didn't even really think of mental health as a thing, right? So yeah, it's ridiculous. There are a lot of people in the older generations that are not sympathetic to these things. What are you going to do about that? But there is, as ridiculous as it is, there is maybe a small percentage of truth to what they're saying. Maybe there's a little crumb of something you can get out of that. That is, ultimately there is a percentage of like self-responsibility that we do need to take in our lives that, no matter what we're going through, we kind of do have to, learn to deal with it or live with it, and, so that we can do the things that, make us happier, make our lives better. Like we have to get out of bed every morning. We have to go to work. We have to make money. We have to, this and that. We have to survive. That's, again, that's a necessity. And then there's, of course, experts who want to listen to the experts, right? Experts recommend, pursuing a hobby, trying to find these communities, trying, to, as difficult as it may be, trying to find these third places, these common places, so that you can make some new connections, make some new friends, relationships, yada, yada. Which, of course, yeah, it's a great idea if you have the means to do it, absolutely. Experts also say, therapy, again, another thing, if you have the resources, if you have the money, if you have the time, absolutely do therapy. It could be a great resource. But yeah, these are like broad strokes things. Then of course there's, like little things that you could do, like reduce screen time, reach out to people, put yourself in, uncomfortable situations. It can be very, very important, and this is where I come in, right? It's my video. So, for me, what I've seen, what I've experienced, it is so important that you don't give up on yourself. You don't make excuses. And maybe this is a kind of a boomer thing, right? Maybe this doesn't work for everybody, but that's okay. Hopefully maybe it will work for you. Maybe you can find something here out of this. I know it's corny. I know it's a little cheesy to say don't give up on yourself, but try to, internalize this, try to make it fit for you. Don't get caught in this mindset of like, oh, well, I'm depressed. Oh, well, I have anxiety. Oh, well, I have XYZ thing going on, or, mental thing going on, or this or that. And then weasel your way out of something because you're scared or anxious, or, you're feeling inferior, or you feel like you're going to mess something up. I know like a lot of, anxiety, depression, a lot of these things are serious. Absolutely. I know these things are serious, but don't use them as a crutch and then find yourself becoming even more isolated, even more cut off from everybody that you care about. Do not do that. That will only make it worse. Don't, cancel, back out of every plan, every, personal challenge, because you're feeling, shitty one day, or, you don't feel like you can get out of bed. Try not to do that. It will only make things worse. It'll only make, it'll only make you feel worse in the long run. It'll only further deteriorate your friendships, your relationships. Eventually people will stop bothering to ask you to do things, and then what? You're isolated. You're even more isolated. You're even more lonely. Even more depressed, even more anxious. And yeah, not a great thing to do. You need to push yourself. You need to get yourself out there. You need to do things that scare you or make you feel anxious. I'm sure we've all heard the saying, no man is an island. I strongly believe in that. Of course, there's extreme outliers, this of course means that, like, every human being has someone, maybe one or two people that we can reach out to and can rely on in some measure. Like I said, of course, there's extreme outliers, but I'm sure everybody, even the loneliest of people, have at least one person, whether it's, a family member or, a past friend, that they could reach out to and, maybe rekindle a relationship or rebuild a relationship. I strongly believe that. Reaching out is so important. It's such a great thing that we could do. Don't ever take a relationship for granted. Don't ever feel like you're a burden. Don't ever like automatically feel like I feel this way sometimes. Like, if I ever, think about someone I haven't talked to in a while, I haven't seen in a while, and I want to reach out to them, sometimes I feel like weird about it. It's like, it feels weird to me to do it. But don't feel that way. A lot of people like it when you reach out. A lot of people really like it when you reach out to them. And who knows, maybe you can, create an even greater relationship from that. And if you're really worried about feeling like a burden, and if they do make you feel like a burden, maybe they're not worth it. Maybe they're not worth it. Reach out to someone else. That too, like, if you're a lonely person looking for love, if you're out there, and you meet someone and you think, hey, this person's great. This person's giving me a little bit of affection here and there. This person's giving me attention. This person's great. And you automatically become so attached. And then you put the rose-colored glasses on, and then like you're kind of ignoring the red flags, or they're mistreating you and you're not really recognizing it, or they have some patterns of behavior that aren't great and you're not recognizing it, or you are recognizing it, but you're diminishing it because you have the rose-colored glasses on and you want things to work out and you don't want to be lonely anymore. You want to be in a relationship with this person. Don't do that. Do not do that. Take the glasses off, throw them away. You don't need them. Any person who's blatantly mistreating you, they're not worth it. No matter how lonely you are, no matter how desperate you are, they're not worth it. They are not worth it. You have to love yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to be your own best friend. Again, I'm going to go to that Seneca quote that I've already said in a previous video, right? Seneca said, "What progress have I made? I have begun to be a friend to myself." One of the most important things in life is taking care of yourself. Look at the habits that you have. This is something that I've been working on quite a bit recently. Look at the habits that you have, right? How much time a day outside of work or school, or even, at work or school, how much time a day are you spending doing things that are maybe not the best for you? How much are you vaping or smoking? How much are you drinking or doing other, drugs or whatever? How much time are you spending sitting? How much time are you spending on your phone? Or, other kinds of screens on video games or TV? And trust me, I love all these things. I love all these things that I just said. I love to sit and play video games. It's what I was doing before I was making this video. It's what I'm going to do after I make this video. I love movies and TV shows, and I love YouTube, right? I love social media. I love spending time on TikTok, and Instagram and Facebook even, right? I like a drink every once in a while, something I've had to moderate. Vape, smoke, I've completely shut those out. I know it can be difficult, but you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. These can all be great things, but in moderation. Moderation. Please moderate. Please take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. It can be so important to take care of yourself. Try to work out. Try to, it feels good. It feels good to work out. Try to, be more active. It could be life-changing. I know it's, everybody says this, it's corny, it's cheesy, it's, overplayed. Change the record, right? But it's so true. It's so true. And then, the experts are right. Find a hobby. Find something that makes you feel, find something that you can, sink your teeth into. And maybe even, try to, go out and find community in that. If you have the means to do that, then go outside your comfort zone. Go do things alone that maybe you wouldn't usually do alone. Go to the grocery store, walk around somewhere, find somewhere to just walk around, like a park, or if you got I know around my area we got like old historical town, like squares. Walk around there, go into some shops, go into some antique shops or whatever else is around there. Walk around if there's a beach or like a lake near you, walk around there, or hang out there. It can be so important just to get out, or drive around. Drive around if you got a car, or if you got a bike, ride around, whatever. Get out, get out of the house, get out of the house. And listen, you're gonna fail. You're gonna make yourself look like an idiot. You're gonna suck. You're gonna fall down. You're probably gonna get hurt. You're probably going to do something that you might regret. I don't know. But just know that these are all things that we have to do. These are all things that we're gonna do. These are all inevitable things in everybody's lives, right? We're only human. We're not perfect. We are not these fake plastic people that we see on social media that, perfectly curate their lives, to make it look like they're living these just wonderful, perfect lives. And they're such great people, and they're, invincible and untouchable, creating all these false standards that we in turn feel like we need to reach. That's not life. That's not real life. That's not reality at all. Try to find better role models. That's another thing. Try to find better role models. Try to find people that aren't trying to sell you something. Try to maybe don't listen to people that are trying to sell you like these life-changing courses, right? Try not to follow these like life coaches that tell you, try to sell you all these fake answers, or tell you that the answers are actually extremely destructive things, right? Or try that, what I'm trying to say is don't listen to people that make you feel worse about your situation, right? And again, I've covered this in past videos. Go watch past videos. Try to get better noticing the facades, right? We aren't supposed to be so rigid and confined within ourselves. That too, you could take self-love too far. It's important to self-love, but don't take that too far either. To where you're such a, pretentious, self-important person. And then, through that, you're feeling isolated, right? There's, love yourself, but remember that there's still enough love in you for other people. And yeah, in that, as far as other people are concerned in relationships, just even if you know that it's not going to go well, even if you know you're going to fail, go try to find someone to go on a date with. Go try to, maybe if you're at school or work, maybe try to talk to a coworker that you think seems cool. Try to make you, maybe you won't make a complete friend, but maybe, they'll have some shared interests, or maybe, you can like bond with them over how shitty it is at work. Who knows, right? What I do know, what I've seen, is that human beings, we were made vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable, right? We were born vulnerable. We are raised vulnerable. We live our adult lives vulnerable. And we eventually die, you guessed it, vulnerable. There's no shame in that whatsoever. It's nature. It's natural. That's how it is. It's how it's always going to be. Um, and I think that's a good thing to remember, to live by, that you're never going to be untouchable. You're never going to get to this point in your life where, oh my God, everything's perfect. You're going to overcome every demon. You're going to overcome every affliction or vice. It's not going to happen. But you can damn well try. And you should damn well try. You should try your best every day to be better. Yeah, I think that's all I got for this one. Just wanted to talk about this. You know, it's a tough thing. I know. Again, hope maybe someone saw this and maybe it helped. It'd be great. That's all I really want to accomplish from these. If you watched this all the way through, thank you. You're great. You're beautiful. Yada yada, whatever. You know. And I guess I'll see you in the next one.